ClowdyWorld, and today, man, we got to talk about how Rick Ross just got dissed by the game. So recently, there's been a trend in rap where a lot of issues that people have had for years are kind of starting to bubble it up, and have been really just going crazy. Everyone knows the main case of when, as we know right now, Drake versus Kendrick, where it all started from years and years of sub disses, but kind of went to a head when J. Cole had mentioned that it's the big three: me, Drake, Kendrick, and Kendrick had a real big issue with that, stemming from the fact that it's pretty clear that he looked at Drake as a culture vulture and somebody that clearly did not have the right to take the throne. And since kind of this issue and air of truth, there's been another rapper that jumped in that by the name of Rick Ross, otherwise known as Rick Ross. Now, Rick Ross has been doing a lot of dissing back and forth with Drake as well. However, Drake has not responded to, as we know, the homie Rick Ross. Now, the reason he hasn't responded most likely is because he focused mainly on that man, as we already know, Kendrick Lamar, but he has done small disses back and forth in his verses against Kendrick that kind of show that he clearly isn't feeling him either. Now, this comes to a head when The Game, one of LA's most well-known rappers and artists of our generation, recently just came out with a diss called Freeway's Revenge. Now, Freeway Ricky was kind of the name that people didn't know was a original man that Rick Ross stole his entire everything from. Many people may not know that Rick Ross was originally a correctional PO officer. Yes, a police officer, a fed. Some might say 13-1. So again, when you kind of get an idea of what he came from, you get an idea that this diss that The Game is about to say is probably gonna have some real deep back and forth message. So let's break it down and let's talk about Freeway's Revenge, the new diss that The Game just dropped on that man Rick Ross. So the intro: all I ask is that you keep it real with me. All I ask is that you keep it real with me. Now, it's clear that he's already talking about how this man Rick Ross has a lot of skeletons in his closet, man, even beyond the way he treats personal people. Even though his ex-wife has come out multiple times about his pretty disgusting behavior, how bro be cheating, how bro be moving around, how bro, feels a lot different than he kind of portrayed himself in the industry, and being basically not himself. So he says, cut open his stomach and stuff bricks in it, put his body on a scale like it's fish in it. I could see in a $20 million home renovation just to your wrist in it. Rip apart the Maybach, I know the truth's inside. You 12 lemon pepper wings away from a heart attack. Bro, this man, The Game, really disses people, bro. And I feel like people don't understand that certain artists like The Game are the exact type of artists that you do not want to get into a back and forth with, especially because he is petty. He will consistently keep his dissing and his stuff going as well, and he's a real rapper. So if you don't actually respect the rapping, if he does respond, then you're kind of gonna get cooked. And this is a situation where this man Rick Ross can't come for this man's past that much either, bro, because he's basically got the same, if not more, credit than you do, in all honesty. And the craziest thing is that people talk about The Game's past a lot, where they mention that he was at one point, popping for them dollars, on that polio, way back when as a youngin'. So it's crazy just to see that, how Future goes and how these artists are treated in the modern day. So he then goes on to say, academics, get this Ozempic pack starter. Kai Cenat, hit the room, turn that screen on. Ask Budden about his brief encounter with King Kong. This ain't the Kendrick beef, my Drake sing songs. Shots ring out, your neighbor better have his ring on. Glock swing out, doors open like a swing arm. Pac lean out, Machiavelli with the ring on. Ops is out, they on the other, we on. Hospital wheelchair, head wrap, sling on. So again, man, if we already keeping it about actual bars and wordplay, this man, The Game, is really destroying Rick Ross. Now, Rick Ross seems like he's always one of them people that keeps a back and forth ready for other people, but it's crazy because he's been trolling Drake as long as he can for some attention, and because he's been trolling, it seems like he got what he asked for. That's one of these things about music and rap as a whole, is that you're never safe as you think you are compared to the other man. Yeah, you were laughing, yeah, everyone's laughing, we all having a good time, it's a Drake versus Kendrick thing, but you threw your stone. And son, even though the Drake mansion sees them stones being tapped and is ignoring it, hey, The Game got the whip outside and he peeping it. It's clear that, even though we peep what it is, Drake definitely got some people in the industry that rock with him too, man. It isn't just some one way or the other. Even though it may seem like as a whole and definitely with the culture, Kendrick is definitely one-upping him and did his thing with the beef. It's clear that this isn't gonna be their end-all be-all. This is actually not at all what was gonna be their focus. It's clear that Kendrick had his own things for the year as well. And even though Kendrick seemed as if he had his own stuff going as well, some might say that he only did this as a response to where Drake was seeming to start be looked at. If you look at how people were talking a few months before Kendrick did this, they were saying Kendrick's music was boring. They were saying he couldn't play his music at parties or functions. They were saying that his music wouldn't do numbers. They were saying that he wasn't commercial, and he's proved all the doubters wrong. So when we get back to Rick Ross, what has he proved in this beef? We're seeing everyone else prove and make at least their claim be known. Even if you don't feel it, or you are feeling what Drake's been saying, you can at least respect that he got in the ring and his verses are being looked at in the same way back and forth as Kendrick. There's a respect of the culture and what they're going. Ain't nobody respecting what Rick Ross talking about, man. Don't nobody care, bruh. Bro, everyone looking at him like a lemon pepper wing guy, dog. And again, he's respected and he does his own things, but Rick Ross known for doing car shows now and doing hijinks on Instagram and showing off little funny memes now, bro. He's hitting a different demographic, bro, even in the music industry. No one's saying Rick Ross can't rap, but when we really talk about music and say, you know, those type of things, I ain't hearing his music in the clubs like that. I'm not hearing his music in ads like that. I'm not hearing his music in other places that would not be his very specific niche demographic, even though he is a respected artist. So when you saying stuff like that and you throwing them stones, you gotta also realize there's rappers like The Game who've done just as much as you that feel like, hey man, if they look at me under them, I don't even look at you equal to me, so where are we to go with that? And so now that we seeing this man, The Game, continuously just break him apart, he goes on to say, Maybach trucks, type we eat our wings on. My K-Dot, I don't have time to turn the bean on. It's time of the month, get at something to bleed on. Your baby mama told me that you like to get on. You a CEO, that's the last time you had keys on. And we know you treat gunplay like a peon. And he knows something that ain't cool for him to speak on. My PO said, this ain't the record that we agreed on. Then cut it off the ankle monitor for I beep on. My learn French just to get they steam on. And Cali with Calicos don't need Khaled to get his scream on. We the West Frito guys, I got a Frito West. I'm we loco, I don't need a vest. I'm watching Scarface cleaning text. Shots gonna be direct, have you been through Cedar yet? Nah, man. Like, let's really just talk about, break down and understand lyricism right now. This is a genuine to his head diss by an artist who has a pretty good following as well. If Rick Ross, to me, in my opinion, does not respond to him, it's gonna make me look at the way he's been interacting with Drake very differently, because for someone who keeps saying other people are so afraid and so fearful to respond and react to your music and your style of expression, for you to be the same one doing that and being afraid to confront The Game when he's dissing you, it's kind of telling of where we are in the rap game and kind of exposes some of these fake narratives that these artists have. Because when I look at this, I look at it like no one's either the good or the bad guy. People are looking at it like it's the culture versus Drake. What does Drake represent that is of equal value negatively of the culture? If we're looking at it like good and bad, what is the equal bad he represents? That's OD to me. It's better to look at it like these are two artists that are having a cultural war in the rap game and Drake's losing. And that's cool, but we have to understand that's what we're doing right now, is acknowledging that, because right now Rick Ross is wasting time because The Game is going to keep dissing him if he keep playing. So he needs to figure out, is he going to be dissing Drake? Is he going to be dissing him, that or the other? He needs to get in the booth and get off them hot wings. ClowdyWorld, let me know what y'all think. Let me know what y'all think about The Game's diss track in the comments. Is it fire? Is it not? ClowdyWorld, and we gone.